Hello everybody! Today we're talking about books and why people don't want to read them. We've all experienced it. You pick up a book, you're super excited to read it, and then everything goes to crap. It wasn't what you expected, you aren't enjoying it, and you decide to throw it out the window. If you're a writer, this is the last thing you want, and I'm gonna tell you why it happens. But Jenna, we already know why people don't finish books. It's because they didn't like it. No shit, Sherlock. If someone decides not to finish reading a book, also known as DNFing, it's because they weren't enjoying it. It didn't vibe with them, they thought it was boring, or they thought it was tired. The thing is, this feedback on its own isn't particularly helpful for writers. How was the story boring? What about it was tired? That's where this list comes in. I'm breaking down the 10 most common reasons that readers DNF. These are the flaws behind statements like "I wasn't pulled in" or "the characters suck." Before we get started, I want to send all of my love to Book of the Month, who has sponsored today's video. Book of the Month, as you can probably already assume, is a monthly bookish subscription box that helps readers discover the best new releases, early releases, and adult debut fiction releases. They offer 5 new releases every month, and members get to pick one of those books to be shipped directly to them. In addition to purchasing one of the featured books, members can choose up to 2 featured books, trending books, or previous books as add-ons to their monthly purchases, and they can skip any month without penalty. Book of the Month was super generous and sent me all 5 of their books for this month. I've got the unboxing for you right here. Damn, this is a heavy box. Watch out, Butters! I just got my box from Book of the Month, and I don't want to waste any time. I want to open this sucker right now. Book of the Month was super kind and sent me all 5 of their books for the month. I'm spoiled. Ooh, what is this? The first book is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Bells that ring themselves, record players that turn on and play music to empty rooms, ghosts that climb out of wardrobes. Ooh, so this is a ghost story. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited for this. Next we have The Last Flight by Julie Clark. I just realized they've got little Book of the Month emblems on them. That's really cool, very fancy. 2 women, 2 flights, one last chance to disappear. Ooh, is this like a thriller? Claire has worked for months on a plan to vanish. A chance meeting in an airport brings her together with a woman who seems equally desperate to flee for her life. But when the Puerto Rico plane crashes, Claire's options narrow to one impossible choice: assume Eva's identity, and along with it, the secrets she fought so hard to keep hidden. Ooh, this looks juicy. Ooh, I'm excited for this. Next, I've got The Vanishing Half. Ooh, I have heard of this, and I've heard very good things. Twins, inseparable as children, ultimately choose to live in 2 very different worlds, one black and one white. I have heard a lot of really good things about this book, so I am excited to check it out. It feels like this box is bottomless. There are so many books. Another one to watch. It looks like a romance. Real Love as Seen on TV. Oh my gosh, so I'm getting the vibe that this is a rom-com. I am definitely interested. Right, Butters? Right, are you interested? Thank you. And the last book is A Burning by Megha Mahamdar, an electrifying debut novel about 3 unforgettable characters who seek to rise to the middle class, to political power, to fame in movies, and find their lives entangled in the wake of a catastrophe in contemporary India. This sounds super interesting as well. All of these books sound great, and they're all so beautiful. It looks like they are purposely packaged for Book of the Month. And look how beautiful they are all together. Thank you so much, Book of the Month, for sending these to me. I cannot wait to dive in. If you're interested in getting your own box, head to bookofthemonth.com to get your first book today. Even better, you can get your first book for only $9.99 using code SUN5. This is an awesome discount for some awesome bookish goodies. Definitely check it out. I have the information listed below. If you want more information about all things bookish, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell down below. I post new videos on Wednesdays as well as some bonus content on Mondays. And be sure to pre-order my #1 best-selling dark fantasy novel, The Savior Sister. It's available for pre-order right now all over the place. I'm also hosting a massive pre-sale giveaway. I've got the information in the description. Check it out. Now to talk about the 10 reasons why people are putting your book down. Let's get to it. Number 1, they don't have any questions. Every single chapter you write should either produce a question or elaborate on an existing question. Why did he lie to her? Is her job in jeopardy? Who started the attack? Is she really his mother? If you end a chapter without a single lingering question, you haven't done your duty as a writer. This is the number 1 reason why readers claim they weren't feeling a story. It's also a popular reason why readers will claim a story is boring. Even if it's the start of the book and readers aren't yet invested in the characters, you should still give them a reason to keep reading. And 9 times out of 10, that reason is a question. What is this magical letter? Who is this mysterious pale guy? Will Tobias enter the tournament? No questions means the reader has no reason to continue, so they're probably gonna put the book down. Number 2, you answered all the questions. A lot of writers know that they're supposed to create a question in every chapter, which is wonderful. Kudos to you. But sometimes they create a question and answer the question in the same chapter. That's not how this shit works. Each chapter should end with a cliffhanger or some type of longing, something the reader is eager to bring to closure. It's fine to answer questions within a chapter so long as other questions are left remaining. Think of it like breadcrumbs. Sure, you've sprinkled some along the floor, but you still got a bunch more in your hand, right? Once you've run out of breadcrumbs, the ducks have no reason to follow you. They've gotten everything they need. Your readers are ducks. Keep some breadcrumbs in your hand and you'll be good to go. Number 3, there are way too many questions. As we already covered, it's great to leave questions remaining for the reader, but there comes a point in the story where you kinda have to deliver. Recently, I read a book that created 12 pressing questions within the first 3 chapters. That's 4 questions per chapter. The book then went on for 150 pages, without answering a single one of those 12 questions. That was over half the book and not a single promise delivered on. It's like what I said about the breadcrumbs. Sure, you want to keep some in your hand, but if you walk for a mile without dropping a single breadcrumb, the ducks are gonna get tired of the dick tease and walk away. Plus, 150 pages with no answers usually means 150 pages without focus on the plot. The questions your readers ask should directly correlate to the plot, and if you're not answering them, that usually means you've shifted focus elsewhere. Number 4, info dumps. This is the number 1 reason people claim they DNF'd a boring book. You overloaded them with unnecessary info dumps, and I'm gonna wager at least 75% of those were world building. I know you're passionate about your world. I am too. But the number 1 rule of world building is to introduce your world as it becomes relevant. If it's not relevant, it don't matter. Period. Number 5, unlikable characters. But Jenna, my characters aren't supposed to be good people. They're complicated. What if I told you likable and good are not synonymous? Many people find Hannibal Lecter wildly entertaining and charming, and he literally eats people. About 50% of readers read specifically for the characters, and it's a huge bummer when you're reading a book and you don't really like the MC. So put effort into making the MC likable. They can be likable because they are sympathetic or relatable. They have struggles and traits that lots of people can identify with. Maybe they're likable because they're entertaining, they're funny and charismatic. They have an it factor. Whichever tactic you employ, and there's many, it's way easier to hook a reader if they like the MC. And if they don't, expect a DNF in your future. Number 6, shit ain't edited. Your book is not finished until you've hired a professional editor. Bottom line. I cannot tell you how many books I've DNF'd because of typos on the first page, punctuation errors in the first paragraph, or grammar mistakes in the first line. It's not easy to read a book riddled with mistakes. It's like walking through a minefield, minus all the death. With every mistake, your reader is removed from the plot. They're reminded that the story is fake. You don't want that. You want them to be sucked into your world, to feel as though they're experiencing it firsthand. So for the love of God, hire an editor. Number 7, no trigger warnings. If you're writing content that is potentially triggering, like domestic abuse, child abuse, sexual assault, or suicide, it behooves you to include a trigger warning somewhere in or on your book. The point of this is not to coddle readers, it's to make sure the right readers read your book. Some people, whether it's for trigger reasons or personal preference, do not want to read about graphic violence. And guess what? That is 100% their prerogative. As a reader, it's really frustrating to go into a book that has given you zero indication that there will be upsetting content, and then be hit with a scene that you would have never chosen to expose yourself to otherwise. If you want to make sure you're attracting the right readers and your book includes some potentially triggering content, just add some trigger warnings. It's super easy. This will lower your chances of 1-star reviews and attract the kind of readers that will gobble your story up. Number 8, regurgitation, also known as cliché. Every writer has tropes they adore or genres they love, and thus we'll see a lot of that in their writing. Maybe they only write science fiction. Maybe they're absolutely obsessed with enemies to lovers. That's fine. But there's a big difference between that and regurgitating what has already been popularized by other authors or what's already been popularized by yourself. Recycling the same lines and same story over and over and over. This is what we refer to as cliché. It's lines, phrases, and tropes that are overused, particularly if they're not repackaged or subverted in some way. I know you think you're hitting a home run because some other author already got popular off this, but readers are bored of it because they've already read it 1,000 times. Rather than guaranteeing yourself sales, you're guaranteeing yourself some DNFs. Number 9, glorification. Life is filled with horrors like abusive relationships, drug addiction, or mental illness, and it's perfectly fine to represent these realities in your fiction. But representation is not the same thing as glorification or romanticization. Romanticization. It's a hard word. If a story is representing an abusive relationship, it's presenting it as multifaceted and complex, but inherently negative. If a story glorifies or romanticizes abuse, it's presenting it as normal, sexy, and even desired. Wow, I really wish a hot guy would try to break my arm. Swoon. Look, no one is telling you can't write dark shit. Hell, my books are filled with torture and decapitation. But it's about the manner in which you express this content. If you're presenting depression as beautiful and poetic, something only the coolest deep thinkers suffer from, then you're glorifying mental illness. Readers are gonna get grossed out, and they're gonna put the book down. And number 10, filler. The back of the book blurb makes a promise to the reader, like romance, adventure, or drama. But sometimes people open up a book expecting one thing and are met with something completely different. There are many reasons for this. Sometimes it's improper advertising or placing the book in the wrong target audience, but a lot of the time it's filler. A book may promise to be a thrilling ghost story, but instead we see the MC meander through their world, having casual conversations with family and friends. You know, the boring shit. It's fine to include content that is not plot specific. This is where subplots come into play. But if your book is packed with day-in-the-life shenanigans that have no relevance to the plot, you've overindulged on filler, the reader is going to get bored, and they're likely gonna walk away. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Not only did they give me so many amazing books, but they've also got a special discount just for you guys. Use code SUN5 to get your first book for only $9.99. I have the information listed below. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell. The Save Your Sister is available for pre-order in ebook, paperback, and hardback. It's available all over the place. Plus, I'm holding a major pre-sale giveaway. I am handing out well over 35 prizes. All the information is in the description. Get on it. And be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, and of course you can tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!
You've read Tobias's story. Now it's time for Layla's. The Savior Sister, coming soon.